Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and many congratulations to the Honourable Member for West Bromwich on an excellent maiden speech. I congratulate her. It's the greatest honour of my life to be giving my maiden speech in this place as the member for my home constituency of North Cornwall, where I was born and brought up. I'll always be grateful to the people of North Cornwall for putting their trust in me. There are unfortunately too many supporters and friends and family to thank for their hard work and dedication for getting me to this place, but I must just give a special thanks to my mother Jennifer, father Joseph and my husband Maguire for their unwavering love and support. A huge thank you as well to my agent and sister Rosie. To every single member of my campaign, you're quite simply the best team that any candidate could wish for, and you showed such amazing dedication to our area. I wouldn't be here without you, and I won't let you down. It's also a pleasure to contribute to this debate celebrating our Olympic and Paralympic athletes. I grew up in the small but now golden rural village of Withyall, and soon after my election, my former Withyall neighbour Morgan Boulding won gold in the men's 8 rowing. I commend Morgan and all of our Team GB Olympic and Paralympic athletes for their amazing successes this summer. I'd like to just start by paying tribute to my predecessor, Scott Mann, who supported much-needed transport initiatives, such as better rail connectivity to North Cornish towns. I'll continue this work by fighting for much-needed transport infrastructure, which, despite North Cornwall's large size, does not contain a single mainline rail station, and vital bus routes are routinely cut. I thank Scott for his service, and I wish him the very best for his future endeavours. North Cornwall has a great Liberal tradition, and so I'd also like to pay tribute to my Liberal predecessor, John Pardo, who's still fondly remembered on many doorsteps for his dedication as North Cornwall's MP in the 1960s and 70s. In more recent times, Paul Tyler and Dan Rogerson were also fantastic Liberal Democrat representatives who fought tirelessly for our area. I was honoured to receive the support and advice of all 3 former members during my election campaign, and they have set the bar very high for me indeed. While the election campaign was mostly a positive experience, we did have one crisis moment. Having advertised a meet and greet where cream teas would be sold, the real dangers of AI were brought home to me. A volunteer had produced the event poster using ChatGPT or something similar. They'd found a photo of a cream tea, but tragically this was a dystopian Devon version with the cream on first and the jam on top. Before anyone had spotted this egregious error, it had been published all over my social media. As a proud Cornishman, it was indeed a shameful moment, and we immediately went into crisis mode. Luckily, we survived this unfortunate episode, and I'll be sure that I'm never again associated with any cream tea which isn't jam first.
Absolutely. Well done.
While preparing for this speech, I read those of my predecessors and noted the tragic resonance they still have today. John Pardo, back in 1966, described our area as neglected and exporting a mass of young people. Paul Tyler in 1974 explained the housing shortage is now a major social evil again. And Dan Rogerson in 2005 said North Cornwall has more second homes than council houses. As a young person, I felt I had no other choice than to leave and seek opportunities elsewhere, so I talk from experience when I say that these statements all sadly remain just as true today. Working to bring well-paid, highly skilled jobs to our area will be at the top of my to-do list. With the new government's pledge to build more houses, I'll be fighting to make sure we don't continue to just see more and more executive homes without the appropriate infrastructure and which are far beyond the reach of local people. I sincerely hope my future successor does not need to again lament the appalling state of Cornish housing 60 years from now. Everyone in Cornwall must have a safe and a secure place to live. I must admit, since my election, I've been shocked by the number of crises currently facing our great duchy. My inbox is bursting with cases of children needing urgent treatment in A&E due to tooth infections, with some parents even resorting to using pliers to extract their child's rotten teeth because they can't get an NHS dentist. GP appointments continue to be hard to come by, pharmacies are closing, and waiting times are among the highest in the country. The major hospitals serving North Cornwall, Treliske, Derriford and North Devon are crumbling, and we cannot delay or review their new buildings any longer, or we risk the South West hospital provision quite literally collapsing. As well as the crises in our NHS, Cornish schools continue to receive less funding per pupil than other areas of the UK, and the crisis in provision for children and young people with special educational needs and disabilities is extremely alarming. We see raw sewage dumped into our rivers and world-renowned beaches like Polzeath, Harlyn and Widmouth Bay, among many others, on an almost daily basis. The water industry needs urgent reform so that monopolistic for-profit water companies are forced to finally invest in infrastructure rather than only prioritising shareholder dividends. Our fishers and farmers continue to suffer from disastrous trade deals, which have left them struggling to compete, while climate change becomes the most urgent issue of our times and threatens to literally submerge towns like Bude underwater in the coming decades. Despite these hardships, there is also very much to be hopeful about. I'm deeply inspired by the dedication of our amazing communities and volunteer networks and sports clubs, to name just a few. Age Concern in Bodmin and the amazing new youth centre in Bodmin, KBSK, which provides warm meals, homework clubs and a range of activities for young people. The Sea Pool in Bude, run by dedicated volunteers to improve the mental well-being of local residents. The Memory Cafe in Launceston, providing respite for carers and those with memory problems. The Grace Project in Weybridge, providing unwanted clothing to those who need it most. And the Community Larders and Food Banks in Camelford, St Colin Major and Padstow. We also are blessed with many excellent sports clubs in my constituency, including the Weybridge Camels Rugby Club, the Bodmin Football Club, the Launceston All Blacks Rugby Club, and many, many more. I'm also looking forward to visit the Kilkhampton ladies team, football team, in just a few weeks' time. But it's clear to me that the best way to solve many of these problems and the unique challenges Cornwall faces is for decisions to be taken locally. My constituents, including many who didn't vote at all, are so fed up with the same broken political system, which, as I've already explained, seems to achieve very little for us in Cornwall. That is why, as well as proper voting and fundamental political reform, I'll be calling for meaningful devolution of powers, funding and responsibility from Whitehall to a legislative Cornish Assembly. Cornwall's unique culture, heritage and language were finally recognised in 2014 when Liberal Democrats made sure the Cornish were granted national minority status under the European Framework Convention, just like the Scots, Welsh and the Irish. As Liberal Democrats, we are and we must continue to be the party for Cornwall. Given today's debate, I hope the Minister will also work with me to explore how we can see a Cornish team competing at the next Commonwealth Games. I'll finish now with the words of my 15th century predecessor, Thomas Flamanck, who, like me, had previously been a solicitor and grew up in Bodmin. I hope that's where the similarities end, because he was soon after executed. Flamanck led the Cornish Rebellion of 1497 and famously said, "Speak the truth, and only then can you be free of your chains." Guided by those words, I will always speak truth to power on behalf of North Cornwall. Kerno bis Viken, Cornwall forever. Thank you. Yeah.